Previous video we have successfully set up the node one, and now in this video let's first of all create our first route and let's see how we can use that. Okay, now for the routes I will keep that separate. I can also type here like app.get. I can define here my routes for this is get route. Okay, but I will keep it separate in my separate files. Okay, so what I will do is I will create two folders here in the backend. One is going to be controllers and one is going to be in the backend routes. Okay, so I will create my controller functions in this folder. Okay, then I will use those controller functions in my routes file and define my route. Okay, so in controller functions we are basically going to write our logic for our endpoint. Okay, let me show you that. If I go to my controllers, let's create here first of all product controllers. Okay, .js. Now in that we will write all the controllers or all the logic for our product resource. Okay, for example I type here a function const, sorry, export const. Let's type here get products. That is going to be an async function. In that I have request and response like we have in all Express applications. This is our function that we are exporting from here. In that we can add our logic to get all the products from the database. So right now we don't have database, so I will simply return from here response that is going to be res.status. Okay, and with this status I can put in here my status code that is going to be 200, which is okay dot json. In that I can type my json response. So let's type here like message that is going to be all products. Okay, so now it will return this response back to us, but in our upcoming videos we will write the code that will get all the products from the database. So this is our simple controller function in this case. Now to use that I simply go to my routes, create a new file here that is called products.js. So now in this routes/products.js I will write all the routes for the product resource. First of all I have to import from here express, from express. Okay, then I have to simply use here router. So const is going to be express.router. Okay, so I just have to call this router function, and now with this router we can simply define our routes. Okay, now I will simply use here this router dot route. Now route is a function in which we can pass in here the path, so that is going to be slash products. Okay, so router dot route to this path, and now this is a get request, so I will use here dot get, and in the get we have to pass and have a controller function that is going to be get products like this. So now we will simply use here router.route, pass in here path, then this is a get request, so we'll use here dot get and pass in here our controller function. Now we just have to export default here the router so that we can use that in our files. Now we have to register this route in our main app.js file. So for that I will simply first of all import that. So that is going to be import all routes, and then I will simply type here import product routes from dot slash routes slash products. And now to use that I will simply type here app dot use. In that I will first of all pass here the path, so that is going to be slash api slash v1. Okay, and then the product routes. Okay, so now we have successfully registered our routes here. Now it will use this slash api slash v1 before this slash products. So our path is going to be slash api slash v1 slash products. Okay, remember that this is optional. If you don't want to pass that, you can simply remove this v1, but we need to have here api because we are creating our backend api, so it is must to have api in the path. So now we have registered our route. Now let's run this project. So I type here npm run dev. Now we have this error, so that is going to be .js, and also that is going to be .js. Save it. Okay, so now if I run it again, oops, npm run dev, so now the server is running. Now if I open my postman, click on this new tab, this is a get request, so select here get, then I type here http localhost, okay, port 3000 slash api slash v1 slash products. Okay, so now if I click on send from here, we get this error. If I go back, sorry, we have port 4000, so that is import 4000. If I click on send, so you can see that here we get back here this message that is all products. Okay, and status code is 200. So now we have successfully created our first route that is sending back us this response that is all products. Okay, and definitely it is going to contain the products from our database in our upcoming videos. So right now we have this message. Okay, so now in my next video I will first of all set up this Postman environment, and then we will move on and connect to our database. If you have any question, you can post in the Q&A. I will try my best to respond there. So that's it for this video. I will see you in the next lecture.